Hey everyone, Adam here. This is set number 2 from Sunday, May 26th against my good friend Matt. This is 9-ball. It's a race to 7. We wanted to do a race to 7 instead of 9 because last week's were 9s. And the videos were over an hour, and of course this video is an hour and it's a race to 7, so sorry about that. This one I gave him 3 games on the wire. We seem to play a little bit more even in 9-ball than we do in 8-ball, so I'm giving him fewer games. And he's also getting better, so I need to watch out for what I'm creating here. So that said, let's get to the table and get back to it. All right, Matt won the break, or won the coin flip for the break, so he's going to break off here first game. Corner ball goes right in. That rack you can see is right down that white line there that I drew, thanks to the laser level and the I used a white pen. I had a white pencil that I got from just from Amazon. It was in a 3-pack for $3 or something like that. Some people said use a sewing marker, and I did some tests on a sample piece of cloth, and I think the chalk marker, like for sewing, wears off too easily. And I think for a table where you're needing the line in once and not needing in others, that's fine. When you want it more of a permanent, which I don't want to use a permanent marker, this will still erase off, but it seems to be, it won't wear off like just, having your glove or your hand on top of it. So, well, with that, Matt's looking at the 1-ball here. He's looking, he can cut it in, but getting back on the 2 is going to be pretty difficult. Safeties here, it's kind of hard to hit it and come back, like bring the cue ball over behind the 6 without sending the 1-ball flying around the table. I think he's thinking about pushing out here, which I don't know. I'm not as good with the push out as I could be. He's basically just getting the 7 off the table, leaving me straight up and down. Now the problem with that is that I can now play the cue ball behind the 6 much easier because it's more of a straight on angle. So I can hold the 1-ball and play the cue ball top rail, right rail, and try to tuck it in behind that 6-ball. Usually for this, I want a little bit of top. I want top and a little bit of right. Sometimes based on where the cue ball is, you want to play left. I'm actually going the other way. I'm bringing the cue ball 2 rails around and the 1-ball behind the 6, or in this case behind the 2-3. And I barely, kind of almost get there. I needed to hit the 1-ball. I think the 1-ball is okay. Maybe you need to hit a little bit thinner and then send the cue ball flying around, maybe a little bit more left spin. Looking back at it, I kind of like the cue ball behind the 6 a little bit better. And then the 1-ball is going to go top rail, side rail, maybe up to the bottom rail, maybe behind those balls over there too. Looks like Matt can hit this ball. Certainly was not my intention. Yeah, he's able to get just enough of the ball to cut the 2, almost scratched. Left himself in a weird spot. I think if you go at this, it's like a 2-way shot. If you go at the cut here, you're going to bring the cue ball back to kind of around where it is, maybe even underneath the 4-9. This is one of those where they say you want to overcut it. But if you undercut it, it can do almost the same thing. I think I'm going to go at it here, and I'm going to play the cue ball back down to where it is. You hit it really thick. But like the natural angle of the cue ball would have. You're not planning on making that more than 60% of the time tops, maybe even less. Maybe it's less than 50-50. In which case you're bringing the cue ball down safe. At least you're getting distance. Here I'm just playing this over. Cue ball comes out 1 rail. I didn't really get great on this. I can either just try to pinch drop back, or I can play it up to the top rail and down. Yeah, just kind of almost missed, but almost missing is better than almost making it. Because when you almost miss, you still make it. When you almost make it, you don't make it. Or something. Here I want enough angle that I can come over for the 6, so I either wanted to be below the 5, in which case I would have hit it lighter and not had much control over it, or do exactly what I did here and play it above the 5. Early on in my pool life, I used to play below the 5 because the angle's natural there, but I find it's much harder to get that angle, and it's a lot easier to have it bounce off and come up and be perfectly straight. Here, this is good. I just want to draw back with a little bit of lower right and spin it past the side pocket, have it come out half diameter or so, and have the, try to get straight in on the 9 lower left. I didn't draw it. I mostly punched it over to the side, so I got a little bit harder shot here. It shouldn't be an issue. I hope it's not an issue. And it wasn't an issue. And there I like playing it to wrap it around the corner. It reduces the chance of scratch. It reduces, it increases the ability to make the ball. And I'm on the board 3-1. I made a ball, cue ball, get kicked around a bunch, and I do not have a shot on the 1. I'm not sure about pushing out here. Early, not a great push. So I'm kind of looking around to see what I can do. I think I am, okay, I am pushing. I want to get this down on the bottom rail, and instead I clip the 3 ball and scratch. So that's probably not the best strategy for a push out. I was trying to hit it. I was trying to do too much with it. Instead of like using the 3 to get the cue ball, I tried to play it past the 3, and I had, just a tiny little window there where I could hit the left rail, the bottom rail, and just kind of leave it there. I should have either just played it into the bottom rail first, maybe bottom rail, left rail, or use the 3 ball or use the 9 ball, or did something other than what I did. That was, I mean, obviously in retrospect, it's a bad shot because I scratched, but it's just the thinking there isn't, you don't want to try to do too much on something as simple as a push out. Because leaving it literally anywhere except for ball in hand is better. Or leaving it anywhere is better than ball in hand. That's what I wanted to say. So here, just a little low rights, punch it off the rail, get almost the same kind of shot on the 3. And instead he clipped the 7 and dead snookered himself. On those, I like to play more of a draw shot rather than I don't know what you call that, just a center ball shot, I guess. I like going below center because then you pull it off the rail, you pull it back to the middle of the table. As Mark Wilson says, economy of motion on the cue ball. You want to move it, ideally you want to move the cue ball as little as possible. So he needs to hit this, hopefully leave safe. He crushed it. Didn't really leave safe. I would have liked to hit that about half that speed. Try to do about the same thing with the 3 ball, but then the cue ball can stay down here towards this bottom rail. I think the thought on a lot of kick shots is, I got to make this, so I got to, get position, or I need to make this ball. But I think in 9 ball especially, and that shot was interesting because I had a cut shot that I could have made, but instead I decided to play safe. That was playing safe. That was not me missing the ball by 2 diamonds. I just played basically a stop shot 3-railer and left the cue ball snookered. 3 ball comes all the way down, gets snookered behind the 7 ball. I got the extra added bonus of having it hit the side rail and come to the bottom rail. Or if it hits the side rail, I think it can go around the 7 and hit it. Now he has to kick straight at it. He had the right idea. The best way to kick at those for separation is to go 2 rails. So you go left rail, bottom rail, clip the 3 ball, come off the left rail and send the cue ball up table. Unfortunately, he missed it by a little bit, just enough to. Here's that angle I was kind of talking about last game where you're going to be underneath the ball is really easy for position, but it's hard to leave it there. But when you have ball in hand, you can put it wherever you want. Still not sure I'm crazy about that because I didn't hit it great. I think by putting it where I did, I felt like I had to be more precise. If I would have just put it up and hit down into it, I think it would have been better. Here I'm kind of goofy on this ball and have to get back to the 7. Which I did, but now I'm over the 9, I kind of in a goofy spot. All I can really do is play top on this to try to hit the rail and come back out as much as I can for the 8. Did that pretty well. And there's a couple different ways to play the 9-ball. You can play it, you can try to pinch draw it back, play it in the lower left. You can come all the way across, play it in the lower right. You can just hit kind of a little follow shot and kind of roll the 8-ball in and play the 9 in the left side. Or you can come forward and play the 9 on the right side. You know, kind of come forward and all the way across the table. I did the third option of that. I like that one because if you miss, if you go too far, you always have it in the upper left corner. If you go really too far, you can play it in the upper right corner. But that worked out well. I'm almost caught up on the spot here, so I'm down 3-2. Kind of stepped into that ball, and the cue ball and the 4-ball followed each other. I don't think I have enough of the 1-ball to do that stop shot bank safety. Or I try to bank it on the other side. I'd also have to try to avoid both the 2 and the 6. So I might as well just go for this. Overcut it a little bit. Now, as it turns out, it wasn't too bad. He's bridging over the 6. He doesn't really have a shot. I think the 5 cuts off the cross-side bank. What he should look at here is playing the 1-ball kind of back underneath the 2 and the 6 back on the top rail, running the cue ball down table using the 8, 9, 7, 5 or 7, 4. Or that is much, much better. That was a great shot. Cue ball's on underneath the 6. I have to kick. I have to kick into clear air here, so I don't really have. I'm hoping to get, safe here. Hoping to kick the 1 somewhere and then get the 1, the cue ball below like the 5 and 4, and I missed the ball. I was trying to hit the left side, or the top left side of it, and have the cue ball come down and have the 1 go towards the 5, but probably trying to do too much. Matt joked that he was going to set up the 1-9. We see a lot of players who, maybe less experienced 9-ball players, will just try to set that up because they're like, oh, I have ball in hand and it's the best time to get a combo, and then they miss, or they rattle the pocket, or they leave it, or don't come anywhere near close. Like, oh, I hate 9-ball. It's so too much luck involved. Well, what are you going to do? I like to look at percentages on that. So that 1-9 combo is probably a 20 to 30% chance of making it. The run out from here should be more 60 to 70%. A little fast in the follow through, a little jabby. Good position. I mean, the position's fine, but want to watch out for those. Here, I think just a little bit of top left. Hit the rail, come out. The left will kill a little bit, and you're basically just you want to be below the pocket line on the 5, so you can head up table towards the 6. just like that, only got to cut a little bit better. But he was perfect on the 5, but he left me behind the 7. I have to kick below. What I want to try to do here is kick and leave the cue ball down table, bring the 4 ball all the way up table. Or just almost make it. Didn't really try to make it. I was just trying to bring it up table. I did not want to cut it like that. I wanted to have it more so the cue ball just stopped after it hit it. And instead I just leave it hanging in the pocket. Matt's in a weird spot here because you can get stuck on this ball. You can come off. If you come off the right side point into it, you can hit the rail, hit the 6 and scratch in the upper left. If you hit the left side of it, you can get the point gets in the way and it can come out. Or you can do that and scratch. I don't think any of us expected that to happen, including you guys watching it. Yeah, he's looking at the point now. I think playing it off the left point or the right point was the right play. I think playing it off the left point, it was too far over to the right side of the pocket, and the point, it becomes, you can't control it as much. It's you just don't know what's going to happen. Here I underhit this by a diamond. And I'm still okay as far as making the ball, but now I got to watch out. Like the leave, I have to try to make this in between the 7, 9, 8 and back up table for the 7. Just like that. But I hit both the 8 and the 9, and now I don't really have a shot on the 7. It's not great. I don't know what else I could have tried there. I could have tried, I don't think I could have followed it coming down. The side pocket's huge there. The corner pocket's huge there. I just needed to get better from the 5 to the 6, especially with ball in hand. I think I'm going for this. No, I'm not. I'm trying to safe behind the 9. Now, one thing I've learned lately is I watch a lot of pro matches on YouTube and things like DAZN and Pool Action TV, and I see these pros going for these killer 100% snooker safeties, and I realize that at the level that I play at, I don't need to get a dead snooker safety every time. And I think because I'm trying to, sometimes I don't even get safe at all, and sometimes I sell out a shot. Like here, it looks like I've sold out a shot. A lot of people just take this bank and they're like, oh, that's an easy bank, or maybe a carom on the 8 or whatever, but he doesn't have a dead straight in shot, so I've left him safe. I think he tried to go at the 8, and now even though I don't have a great shot, I'm still back to the table in as good, if not a little bit better position than I was before. And that's really your goal playing safe, is to get back to the table in a little bit better situation than you were before. Obviously, getting ball in hand would be great, but as long as you can get back to the table and you're in a better spot, I think that's the goal that I need to set for myself for playing safe. And here I did the same thing, and really the same result. I mean, he doesn't have a dead shot. There is a bank, but it's full table. He's on the rail. The 7's on the rail. The 8 kind of comes into play. And I think at this level, it's like, if you go for this and you make it, I shake your hand, good game, we mark a point for you, and we go on. It's not like I'm selling out the game by doing this. I think he has to go for this. He could try to play safe under the 8, but the 8's in a weird spot. I think he went for it. It's a tough bank. You got to cut it off. I think you have to play, would have been left spin there, but he's on the rail, so it's harder to get the left spin. It's harder to get a lot of power to cut it off, to stiffen it up to go up there. He probably would have been good to try to play just a containing safety. Split them, put the 7 on one rail, put the cue ball on one rail, and do the same thing I did. Get to the table in a better position. Sometimes you get to the table and you're in a worse position, but you get to the table and you survive. So surviving safety, containing safety, whatever you want to call it. You don't sell out the game, you don't lose right there. Now here, I did not play that to the best of my abilities. I was pretty straight on the 8, which of course, one of my specialties. And getting in this weird angle on the 9, and I'm cutting it in the side, which sends the cue ball 100 rails around the table, but it was a decent shot, and we're tied up at 3 again. We're playing a 7. Almost scratched there. That is the problem I have with the break that I do, is I cross over the 1 a lot, and I don't hit it as straight on as I should. Here I made 2 balls. I got a good shot on the 2, but the cue ball is going to go into the 6. If I can hold it and to hit either straight into the 6 or the right side of the 6, I think you can go in with some power. Otherwise, you kind of have to baby this shot. And yeah, that's exactly what I did. I went in on my right side of the 6, be able to hold the cue ball. I think I went a little bit of right spin as well, so it spun off that side and came straight up. Now I can make this, get back on the 5 easily. The 6 is hanging in front of a pocket. 7 is the next ball. The 6 of the 7 is kind of the key right now. I wanted to draw that. I like drawing back off a rail to come into the line of position. I can put more of a stroke on it. I don't have to try to hit a narrow gap in between when I'm drawing straight back. The problem is a lot of times I leave myself close to a rail or straight in. This isn't too bad because the 6 is accessible. Now here I just don't want to leave myself behind the 9 ball. Instead I left myself behind the 9 ball. A lot of people jump this. There's not a lot of future in jumping this because you're never going to get back on the 7 unless you're Fedor Gorst. You can do a full table draw jump. Also, the main pool hall we play in does not allow jump shots. So instead I did whatever the hell that was. But yeah, the main pool hall we play at doesn't allow jump shots, so since we're playing 2 of our main leagues there, I don't really practice jumps all that much. I have a couple of videos where I've done some, but to me it's such a low percentage shot, and I know I need to eventually be able to compete in some of the higher level stuff I want to compete in, Derby City and stuff like that. Not like I'm expecting to win anything, maybe win a match would be great, but I know I'm going to have to figure out, oh boy. But then again, at Derby City Classic, they don't allow jump cues either. Matt with ball in hand did about the worst thing he could do other than actually scratching. In fact, he's probably thinking that he rather would have scratched here, because this is not a good spot to be in. I think the best thing to do is come 2 rails, left rail, bottom rail, and right into the 7, or even left rail, bottom rail, right rail into the 7 and play it up table. It's a tough, you don't really want to go back and forth. Like this way is going to be really hard to hit it because the ball's so small. When you're hitting multiple rails, the ball opens up in the size, the position window you need to hit it. But yeah, he was 2 diamonds away. That was rough. I think the table's in the way. I think he was, bridging out of the pocket is never fun. But I think the right way to go there is a 2 or 3 rail shot. I think he went off for a quick break. Now there's a number of ways to play it. I could come over even more and play for 3 rails around. I can play this and play like on the left side of the 9. I am going forward on this one, I think. Yeah, I'm going forward a little bit of top left. And I'm scratching on the side. Well, all the things to think about there. That really wasn't one of them. So I leave the cue ball there, and I don't know why I didn't cut this part out of the video. Apologies. Oh, he came back pretty quick. But I did tell him upstairs, you have ball in hand. If I didn't tell him and I left it there, I was afraid he was going to shoot it, so. And we're back. And we need 4-3 mat. Made the 1, made the 4, made the, what is that, the 5 as a wing ball, and if the 2 goes by the 8, it's pretty good. The other thing you can do is cut the 2 into the lower right and use the 8 as a stopper. I think he's going to go play the 2 in the lower left. Position is a little tough here. You got to make, you're hopefully going on the around the top side of the 9, come around 2 rails for the 3, or play it like that and just come straight back. I didn't realize I didn't think he had enough being on the rail there, so that was a great shot. This you just want to play to make the ball and come off the rail. So I tend to play these just a little bit of top because it's a natural spin. It's just a natural shot, natural follow shot. He did something really weird there where he spun the key. Look at the cue ball spinning still. He kind of spun it with a bunch of left. I don't think you need any side spin at all on that one. I think I just used top so it goes to the rail and comes out. So here I should be playing this off the side rail and out. I want to keep on the right side of the 7 so that I can play over for the 8. And I'm in a good position to be able to do it. Oh, instead, okay. Makes sense. I've been trying to do this more like I was talking about a couple games ago. Normally I wanted to stay on the inside of that ball. But I find that if you get straight on, it's harder to get a good leave, and you're also doing a little bit of a blind cut. So I'm playing more to get on the other side of it, so you're a much wider position window. I got pretty straight on the 8, so it's just a stop shot. And when I say stop shot, I'm aiming it like a stop shot. The cue ball obviously moved over a couple inches. I didn't necessarily want it to, and I'm still hitting the ball as if I would be playing a stop shot there. And I missed it. I didn't really like what I did. And Matt had a nice one-handed shot there. Matt's up 5-3. I don't like what I did there. I know I was stretched. I know I was reaching, but the delivery wasn't very smooth. It's almost like I had almost like the follow-through was like a 2-part, like rewind it and take a look. It's almost like instead of going smooth backswing, smooth four swing follow through, it was a slow backswing and then jerk kind of through the ball. It's a really good way to miss. Add to that being stretched and everything over it. I don't know what I'm telling him here. I think I made something goofy. Play the 9-baller or something weird. Yeah, unfortunately we play, fortunately for us, unfortunately for you guys, we play, I leave my Spotify playlist on while we're playing down there, so I don't want to post this. A lot of my other videos are posted with background music, but I don't want to have to fight over that when I'm doing the narration here. So what I usually do is I have a big library of YouTube royalty-free music, and I just play that in the background. I set it up so that when my voice is going, it ducks behind, and you can only hear it when I'm not talking. As long as he hits a rail, he's good here. Yep, that was great. I don't think I can get to the 1 at all. I think the 8 is blocking the top side, the 6 is blocking it straight on. I either have to go up and down or down to the bottom rail here, and I only have a quarter ball to try to kick in on. So I don't know if I gave him that advice. If I did, shame on me, but no, I think it's good. I just barely missed it. I mean, by quarter ball tops. Granted, in this game of pool, a quarter ball is a lot, but on a blind kick like that, where I have to, go up to, and I had to cut the angle off the top rail. Got pretty close to that. I don't think much would have happened if I hit it, but you never know. Here I like following that up a lot more. Like in line with the 3. So another foot over to the left, because the 3 is in a good spot. Natural position on the 3 is going to get over to be able to play the 4. But now you got to move the cue ball more to get back on that natural position on the 3. And you have to move it into where the 8, 6, 4, and 9 are. There's no way to really hold this. And he tried to hold it, and he left it there. Now, granted, he left it safe again, but I think this hit is a much easier hit. I'm going to say that now and watch me scratch, but I think this hit is much easier than it was before. The safe on the 1 was great, especially being, halfway in that pocket there. So I'm just coming around 2 rails and trying to hit it just like that. And why don't we make it while we're at it? Although scratching was not part of that. I mean, obviously I did not try to make that, but when you kick at stuff happens. I was trying to hit it and have separation between the 2 ball and the cue ball. And I did. The cue ball was completely off the table, and so was the 2 ball. So here I just play, put the cue ball out there. I think he's going to stun over, which was fine, but I think with ball in hand, you want to just play a natural rolling angler coming in 2 rails to the ball position. Now, granted, this is fine. I mean, he got there. I think you can get a little bit closer with ball in hand. So instead of being at the second diamond, you could be at the first diamond or something like that. But it's not a huge deal. Here, if you can stun it over and pop it out to play the 6 either in the upper right or the right side, I think that's the way to go. He rolled it, which is, it's okay. The problem is you're on a reverse angle here. But I think you just draw back. You should be able to make this just a draw. Just focus on the making of the ball. You should be able to get the 7. I was just about to say the only worry is if you hit the 8 and you get stuck behind the 9, but he did a good job to follow through that ball. Couple different ways to play this. You can draw back, or you can, probably my preferred is playing upper left, and following it 2 rails, bottom rail, left rail, and you're coming right at the position of the 8. Just like that, a little bit more right though. Left. It's right on my side, it's left from the angle of the shooter. If you do left, it cuts that angle in more. So you're more towards like the line of where the 9 and the 8 are rather than this side. You're kind of in between where the cue ball and the 9 ball is. If you cut that angle in half, that's about where you'd be. A little bit of a tester here. I think maybe just straight bottom or straight middle here. Yep. Just take your medicine on the 9. He's pretty straight. Good angle on the 9. This is if you are a 9 ball player or a rotation player of any kind, practice these shots a lot, because they come up in a lot of 9 ball games. Put the 9 ball either on the spot or on that line, on the line that I have drawn, but a ball or 2 below it. That's usually where the 9 ball is sitting. And he returned the favor for me last game where I bobbled the 9. But he wasn't nice enough just to give it to me. Of course, it isn't as much of a gimme as it was for. And we don't really concede games unless it's really, really obvious, like I bobble it and the ball's sitting right there, like I did that one game. Especially if I'm on a run out, I like to continue the run and finish it, just to get keep the stroke working. So he's up 5-4. I get a really good break result here, except for the fact that everything covered up the 1. The cue ball would have been nice if it would have bounced back to be like where the 2 is right now, but I still got the cue ball in a really good spot. I made 2 balls. One ball was tracking before it got kicked to come around, you know, that 2 rails out to the left. I don't think a push is good here. I think maybe I do. Yeah, maybe I do. So I'm going to play left rail, bottom rail, leave it. I want to leave about a half ball here. So I want to leave it about the first diamond. Instead, Matt doesn't even have to get to the table. It's like, yeah, you can take this. Which is funny because this is almost the same shot I had, except for now I'm 3 feet away from it. I think it's almost the same angle, except for I'm below the 9 ball now, so I have to do a little bit more manipulation, and I'm further away. So there, I would have liked to have come under it 2 rails instead of hitting it on the top off of 1 rail. But when you're kicking, it's hard to. I have no Filipino blood in me, so I have no idea how to do that. Anyone who doesn't think their kicking game needs improvement is lying. They're lying to themselves. Got a little bit funny here. I think he has to draw this to the bottom rail and back out with a little bit of left spin. But you want the draw to take, so it's almost like a pinch draw where you want the draw to take immediately after hitting the 2. Kind of like that. But you got to make the ball. Those side pockets have been killer for us. You know, it's ever since I got the table redone, the side pockets have been an issue. But if you're playing on a diamond table, they're like that too. Blue label, not red label. Red labels are a little bit bigger. And I missed the 2 ball, but I got lucky and left it safe. In fact, I missed it. I didn't even get on the 3, so I missed a lot of what that shot was supposed to be. I'm not going to complain because of where it landed, but not really happy with that. Later in the set is not the time where you want to be missing shots. We're in like the last 4th of the set here, and that's not. So Matt got a good hit here. You got a decent result. You don't want to hit that with too much more power because the cue ball can fly over towards this bottom left. So it's kind of a hit and hope you don't leave something good. I have to play this in the side. We were just talking about the sides. It's not a great shot. I could just choose to bank this behind the 8 and have it sit behind the 4-6 and then leave the cue ball behind like this. But I hit it too hard. So I had the right idea there. I just hit it too hard. I tried to get more of the cue ball. I thought I could get it right in the middle, so I was trying to get the cue ball behind the 9, where it turns out I should have just played more of a stop shot. Yeah, I'm showing Matt. I wanted basically both to be right up and down the middle. Now, granted, he doesn't have a great shot on the 2 here to get back on the 3. You can jack up and power this up and turn it 70% make shot into a 30% make shot, or you can just kind of float it in and take your medicine on the 3, and I think that's what he's doing here. I think he was trying to come off the top rail. I don't think he had the 3 after this. Maybe a little bit of it. Here I want to do that like straight draw to bring it straight down the rail. I have to kind of watch out for deciding if I want to come all the way down, which I don't know if I can do, or between the 8 and the 6, or the 9 and the 6. Yeah, just like that. I got way too much on. I didn't think I was going to be able to get that much. And now I've gone from a makeable ball where if it landed, next to the 9, I could make it, where now I can't reach it. The stretch is kind of crazy. So I think I'm just going to bank this 2 rails up, try to get it past the 8 ball, and leave the cue ball down here on the rail. Yeah, I don't know if that's good enough. I don't think it is. I needed to get the 3 to the top rail. And when I originally said past the 8 ball, I meant on the right side of the 8 ball rather than the middle of the table past the 8 ball. So that one, the 2 ball, I hit the 2 too hard. The 3 ball, didn't hit the 3 hard enough. And I was probably had the 2 ball in my mind at that time. Man makes a good shot, but he gets snookered behind the 6 here. We've been talking about like when you take a shot like that, look at the table and look at your next sleeve and say, if I hit it too short, where am I going to land? And if I hit it too far, where am I going to land? And if you hit it too short, this is where you're going to land. If you hit it too far, you still have a shot in the 5 because you can be anywhere in this. The angle it was coming in, you can be anywhere almost, past middle table and still be able to make the ball. Whereas if you get too short, this is what happens. I think he's just kicking at this straight back into the upper left. And he clipped the 6 on the way in. Made the 8, so I only have one. I have one less ball to make. Here I should set up an angle big enough to be able to come over to the left 1 rail and out, which I did. And then this is that draw shot. Draw a low left, have it basically hug the rail down the left rail, and then come out for a good shot on the 9. Or, okay, I did it the other way. That way I like better than trying to hug that rail sometimes, if you can get that angle. We are once again tied at 5 in this race to 7. I think I took off here, and I think I'm going to cut out some of the video, or we're just going to watch Matt on his phone. Okay. I think I just left it. And I like to leave it in. I like to leave the in-between rack stuff because it shows that we're not just cutting and pasting. Like, you could cut and then play a completely different rack or have a different setup. This shows. I have cut a couple things out of videos if we take an extended break or, talk about something else, off to the side. But I like to leave things running. I just speed it up so it only takes a couple seconds. Yeah, here I didn't get good off the break on the 1, but I came a little bit too far. That was the idea of the shot. Bank the 1 to the top rail, play the cue ball 2 rails down to the bottom rail. A lot of times if you leave your object ball on one end rail and the cue ball on the other end rail, you're going to be good. Even if it's straight, like imagine the cue ball and the 1 ball both in the middle of the diamond, in the middle of the bottom rail and top rail, and the 8 and 9 not even on the table. You don't have a shot. There's some safeties you can do, but you don't have you're not selling the game out or anything. So Matt tried to do containing safety there where you split the 2 balls, have one go one way and one go the other. Ideally, he wanted to get underneath the 7 because that blocks off the 1, but I still don't have a shot here. Like, yes, there is a bank to both either the side or the corner, but they're low percentage shots. What I'd be better off doing is banking the 1 long and having it come underneath like the 7-3 and then sending the cue ball down in the middle of the bottom rail. Just like that. Didn't get there. Maybe I did. I don't think he can make it. I think he can hit the 1 where I don't think he can make it. I actually wanted that to be a little bit longer. And to be honest, I don't know if I went for it or not. This is exactly a week ago. There's been a lot of pool played this last week, so I don't remember if I tried to make the bank and I figured it was a 2-way shot, or if I went for the save first. Kind of looks how close I got to it that I went for it, but then you never know. I think he's stuck here where he can't make the ball. So he should probably try to bank this back past the 7, leave the cue ball behind the 8 somewhere. The problem with that is you can hit the 2 and have the 2 go in a lot. 2 is kind of like in that kind of like big ball position. I think he's going the other way. I think he's going to bank it to the right. Yep. I think he thought he could get behind the 7 and 3 there. You use those. And when I say behind, I'm not meaning like up against it, snookered against it or anything, but there I finally make a decent shot. It's been a while. Now here, if I can reach it, I like drawing it out. But I think because I'm using the extension, I should follow it. Because then I get short if I draw it out. If I follow it around 3 rails, I can come between the 9 and the 5, like right at the 3, right at the line of the 3. This way, I'm out of position until I'm in position, and it's not terrible, but I think just the other way is a better way to play it. And because I'm a little bit off of that, I'm a little bit off of this. I don't know if I can stun this, bring it straight back, or stop it. Basically play a stop shot and still get on the 6 okay, or if I have to force it over. I don't want to force it down because it's going to hit it looks like it's going to hit the 9. Yeah, so I didn't draw that. I played more center ball. It's just a goofy shot altogether. I don't have a really good shot here. The cut doesn't seem on. It's a really, really off angle combo. I think what I'm trying to do here, and I kind of remember this shot a little bit, is I'm trying to leave it safe. So I'm trying to play the 6 into the 9 at an angle that I can leave the cue ball at the top of the table, basically on the Brunswick logo. Or even come above, like hit the first diamond and then come below, under the 7. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. And I almost made both balls. I underhit it a little bit. I think I decelerated the stroke. I was trying to get to the rail and under the 7 instead of going into the 7 that way. But I never in a million years thought I would make either ball, much less almost make both of them. So here again, we have a ball in the pocket. I think Matt needs to hit our right side of this, so the left rail first with some right spin. Have it naturally come down bottom rail, left rail, and out. Like that, only hitting the ball. That was rough. It's not very deep in there, but it is right on the rail, so there's a very small position window there. So I'm playing it, leaving it on the rail basically, and just playing a straight top spin. Have it come out all the way to the rail, and I have that speed on this table pretty well down, so I can get away with leaving this angle. Otherwise, I wanted to leave it, first diamond-ish. This one hit a little too hard, but still okay. I can make the 9 from just about anywhere, so I just have to make this ball and head to the hill. Almost missed it. And interestingly enough, I got on the weird side of the 9, like the only spot on the table you can't make the 9 on the side on, so I just played all the way down. And I'm on the hill 6-5. It didn't go exactly the way I thought it would, but still went okay. Cue ball got away from me a little bit on the break, so the 7 covered up the 1, so I have a combo here. Don't know if I want to take it because I don't know where the 1's going to end up. But I don't know what else I can really do. So I think I'm going at this. Maybe I wasn't. can't tell by my I don't remember the shot, and I can't tell by my body language what I was trying to do. But I missed the combo by quite a bit, so yeah, I'm pointing at. I think I wanted to bank the 1 past the 7 up to the top rail. But whatever I did, I missed it horribly, so might as well just say I went after it and I just missed it by a mile. Position-wise here, Matt just needs to make this ball and he should get positioned on the 2 somewhere. A little bit too far, a little bit too far, a little bit too far. I thought he was going to scratch. Entirely too far. He had the right angle, just needed it like half speed. And those are the shots that the pros will play a little bit of side spin to kill it. They're not necessarily using it to make the ball. In fact, they're definitely not using it to make the ball, but if they play some right spin, it can come off a rail or 2 and kill the speed off of it and then stop maybe where the 3 ball is as opposed to way down here. Great shot. Like that. So you see how he put a little bit of right spin on it and went off 2 rails and killed? That's, I think, what he needed to do on the 9. Now, granted, great play there. He still made the shot on the 2 ball was incredible because it was way down here. Got a little straight on that. I still think you can follow it 2 rails with some high right. It's a tough shot. You got to make sure you. Maybe that's not what he's doing. If you do that, you got to make sure you hit the ball pure because if you hit the rail going in, you're not making it. I think he's coming out 2 rails behind. Yep. So draw 2 rails out. He's in line with the 6. He basically just has to make this. I would play a stop shot here instead of rolling it. So I would play light to medium stroke, some draw. Instead of doing that where he followed it forward, I would have just stopped it and left it there. He's still good. I mean, it's still fine. I think it's just a matter of preference there. Here, I think straight top with some left spin. You basically just want to hit the rail and come out and stay kind of in the line with the ball. If you hit it right now just with straight top, it's going to go, the cue ball is going to go to the right like that. And if you want to play the inside spin with the left, you got to hit it much smoother than that. It's not necessarily a power thing as much as an acceleration thing. And then it tends to hold that line better. Table, even though it was recovered in October, is still pretty slidey. So shots like that, the spin will cut off and the ball will slide over to the right like that. Here he just needs to make this, which he does really nicely, and almost a perfect leave on the 9. Did a weird thing there with the stroke, kind of spun the wrist or something, but it still went in, and we are hill. He's moving his brake over to the side, makes 2 balls. 1 ball is going to dress up really nice here, with the 4 ball being the next ball. And this as an opponent, if you're in your chair against a competent player, you're worried here. Worried that you're not going to need your cues anymore for this match. Let's see what Matt does. You need straight top on this. Just going to come above the 4. Doesn't need to worry about the 4 to the 5 as much. And really in 9 ball, there's like a key shot. There's like usually one key angle and one key ball to get back on for the rack. And this one, it might have been that shot because the 4 to the 5 is simple. The 5 to the 6 isn't bad. So maybe the 5 to the 6 is the more the shot that really needs to be like the key shot of the rack. He's a little straight here. if he can get away with it, following this with straight top, come off the bottom rail, and the cue ball comes above the 7 is about as good as you can do for a leave. If he can't get that angle because it's going to go into the, it's a scratch is a concern, then he needs to draw this back. If that's the case, I wouldn't go for more than 3 or 4 inches of draw. I would just draw it straight back, take your medicine on the 6 ball. It's going to be close to straight in, the 7 is right there. All depends on his angle. I keep trying to look over, and it doesn't really work. He was actually able to get a lot out of that by force following it. So that 5 to the 6 I said was the problem ball was one of his best leaves. He did clip the 7 a little bit, which is a little bit dangerous, but that was a good shot. Very good shot. Here, just straight top off the rail. He did notice he kind of twisted his wrist a little bit. So here he needs to draw this back enough that he gets the 8. Because the 8 and the 9 are right in line with each other. I don't think if he does a stop shot here, it's going to do it because I think the cue ball is going to slide over a little bit to the right. So he either needs to draw it back and force it back or play it off the rail with some left spin and have it come out towards the middle of the table. I remember talking about that. He thought he could spin up in between the 8 and 9, and I think that's trying too much. I think bringing it back and bringing it more to the center of the table was a better place for the 8 to be, because otherwise your position window underneath it is really, really small. Now he's in a bit of a problem because he has to cut this and he has to control the cue ball, which is going to be flying around the table of 100 rails. I don't think either scratches on either on the side or the upper right. I think both of those are okay. Almost. But he got goofy. And pretty much taking it in the side is about all he can do here. And there goes the wonderful rolling round chalk. I'm happy to announce I am using the Alex Pegulayan chalk now, which is square, which it seems to be the same formula as Teom. It really does. I would not be surprised if it is and it's just relabeled, like resold and relabeled. I don't think it is. I think once you have something like Teom, you can take it to a manufacturer and say, here, replicate this without breaking any patents. But it is square, and when it hits the ground, it does not go anywhere. So I do like it. It's a little bit bigger than the Master Chalk in width, too. So he tried to play it in the upper right. I think the side pockets were getting into his head. He tried playing in the upper right corner instead of the side. I think that's a mistake. I think you just got to take either, if you can't play it in the side, I think you cross bank it in the other side. That was asking a lot to go in the upper right. And I almost feel bad taking this win. Not really. But I win on the hill. Unfortunately, that was stop here at 7-6. I feel bad for Matt on that one because, so if you remember, I won to go up 6-5. I broke, I missed a safety, and the last time I got to the table was the key ball, the game-winning ball that should have been Matt's to have him win 2 games in a row to go up 7-6. Unfortunately, getting that, I think the play off the 7 ball cost him the game there. Unfortunately, I hate to say it. he probably thinks he missed the 9 and that cost him the game. But I think the 7 ball shot was the key shot. I should have, and when I was calling out the key balls before, I didn't think the 78 was that big of a deal because if you get a decent angle on it, you can draw it back. But I think he tried to do too much. And we have a shirt that we just got from Leagues that says it worked on my head. So that's it. I won this one 7-6. He should have taken it from 5-6 down and won without me getting out of my chair, and he's that close to being able to pull that off, and having it come through more consistently. So this was set number 2. We do have a short third set that I'm going to be posting shortly after this. But until next time, have yourselves a good day, and we'll see you later.